What it is, great people. The home of motivation. To trust God and live your dreams. What it is, great people, you know who it is. I am Mista Darkeye. This is the Mista Darkeye Podcast, motivation to trust God and live your dreams. Got to give a shout out to my sponsor. The Mista Darkeye Podcast is being brought to you by Don Johnson State Farm Insurance. Activate Don in your life and experience the impact. Why? Because Don Johnson is a visionary. She's determined, people-focused, a problem solver, and she's generous. Visit donjohnson.net and donjohnsoncares.com to learn more about her work with the people and the community. Does Don Johnson do too much? Maybe, but that's just Dawn. She loves the people and she is a change agent. So make sure you stop by Don Johnson State Farm Insurance, located at Rock Hills, Manchester Village, off of Dave Lyle Boulevard, 572 John Ross Parkway, Suite 106, directly across from TJ Maxx and in between Sweet Frog and the UPS store. And don't forget to tell them Mr. Darkeye sent you. As y'all can see, I got these two beautiful, wonderful women here with me today. They are back. You see the familiar faces. They are back. We got Evelyn Hemphill and Dr. Norma Gray is here on the podcast. How y'all doing?
Fine, and yourself?
Doing well. Thank y'all for coming back.
Sure. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, we had a great conversation. Just talked about a lot of things that needed to be talked about, because there's not enough conversation about domestic violence in our community, and so many people are suffering in silence and not speaking on these things. But I feel like this conversation is helping people, and I feel like they now know that they can speak out and get some of the stuff out there, so we can get through this and work through this together as a community. I think that helps.
Sounds good.
So how's things been going for you, Evelyn, since the last interview?
Things have been amazing for me. I have done several events.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, today I'm a contributing author in an anthology project today with Tulich Publishing.
Mm-hmm.
Give a shout out to the other authors and Sherry Cribb, the CEO of that company. So that the situation just brought great opportunities. God just turned my pain into power.
Wow, turn your pain into power. I like that.
Yes,
I like that. Turn your pain into power. So you get ready to release a book. So you got an author. So you're an author now.
Yes.
So wow. So can you talk about your book a little bit?
Well, it's an autobiography.
Okay.
It talks about me and some things that I experienced. So I don't want to give away too much about the book, but check with Tulich Publishing online and you can get it there.
That's exciting. That's exciting for you to be in a position now to write a book and release a book. Did you already see yourself doing something like that? Or
I never thought that I would be writing a book or even doing the things that I'm doing. So God is amazing.
God is definitely amazing. But it's always like that, though. He always puts us in these positions to do things that we never thought we would be doing. You know, I think that that's the journey of life. You know, you never know. You never know what God got for you. We always think that we know what's best for us, but He has put us in a position, you know, where He uses us in the right way, you know, the way that we need to really be used. And it's not always going to be comfortable. It's not always going to be, it's not always going to be comfortable and feeling the best, and you know what I'm saying, but it's worth it, and it's what's needed. So that's amazing. I'm proud of you. That is awesome. You know, so we have to make sure that we're there for the book release and the signing and all of that stuff. You let us know so we can be there to support you on that, and we can make sure you sold out, bestseller, and all that good stuff.
There are other authors that have contributed to the book, and please, I apologize. There's a lot of names, but there are 5 other contributing authors. I want to give y'all a shout out to, and I'm sorry that I don't have everybody's name. So
We just do
shout out to the anthology project.
Yes.
a blanket shout out to
Yes.
everybody. So we won't leave anybody out.
Exactly.
Right.
Absolutely. So what's been going on with you, Dr. Norma?
Oh my goodness. So continuing with talking about domestic violence, one of the things that I was able to do was connect with a company that's making a movie highlighting the side of domestic violence as it relates to men who have been victims of domestic violence. And so she reached out to me. She's from Texas, and so I'm a grant writer. And so she reached out to me to see if there was any money out there to help her with this project. And so she also has another nonprofit organization. So I've been able to work with her in getting her organization positioned for grant money to produce this film. And so I've been working with her over a year now in getting her organization ready to produce this film. And so I'm really, really excited that, working with Evelyn as we continue to fight the, family court system and not giving up on it has opened up other doors and opportunities to help others who still believe in the widening doors, but yet closing at the same time, if that makes sense. The more we talk about this issue of domestic violence and we widen our mouths, we hope in so doing that we are yet closing, closing the gap where there are less incidences of this. And so I'm writing her program, and it's out the box. I can't talk about it because that's how out the box it is. But we hope that the film is not just impactful of telling the story, but also giving opportunities for those who are affected and see it will be able to do the next step by implementing the programs of her nonprofit organization right there on the spot, giving people the thing that they need to take their life to the next dimension or the next level.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that you talking about you writing a book and then you talking about working with someone on a film now to bring even more attention to this is amazing to me.
Absolutely.
And I feel like affecting us the way that it has been in our community, and we're able to do things that reach our immediate community. Because some stuff that that we see on TV and stuff like that now, it's to me it's so far away. But when we can be the ones that are stepping up in the community, just able to get to the people immediately, and they can, when we're reachable and tangible to them, I feel like it gives them even better hope, that they got somebody they can actually sit down with and talk to about these things, and not just see something on TV or whatever, or on their cell phones or whatever.
Absolutely. One of the things that Evelyn and I, often speak about is oftentimes those who are affected, particularly with the injustices in the family court system, it is often too late. It's often only understood when they're in the midst of the situation, they're in the family court, they're dealing with it, and they only understand it because they're in the midst of it. And at that time, it's too late. But by bringing the awareness through your program, through your podcast, through, conversations, through her book, through innovations, through the movie, and telling the story as it is, not what they see out there now, because what's out there now, it's already done. But by telling the story of how to fix the injustices before you're in the midst of it, right? Because I want to say, in the midst of it, it's too late. By making people aware of what Evelyn has gone through, what the client that I'm working with, her experiences, and being a storyteller in film, is making people aware so that they can take action. Because it has to be more voices opening the gate so that we can fix a problem. Exactly what I believe you were just saying.
Absolutely. Because so many people in the community that is suffering, like I said, in silence about this, but when they got people in their community that's speaking out about it, like Evelyn is, now it gives them hope, and it makes them feel like I can't sit here in silence and suffer through this no longer. I need to speak out about my situation, and if they need some help, then they can reach out to you and have somebody to sit down with to talk to. So let's talk about your current situation. You have something you want to say? Go ahead.
I also am serving as advisor to the board.
Okay.
With Catapult Outreach Incorporated. It's a domestic violence organization that helps domestic violence victims and families.
Wow.
That's another blessing. That's another opportunity that came through.
Right. And that says a lot about what happens when you operate in faith and you move when God's telling you to move on these situations. And when you do that, He sees that you're being obedient to do that, and He starts opening up more doors, more opportunities, and putting you in these positions where you are, because He knows He can trust you.
Absolutely.
And now you're given these opportunities to do these things, and it's just going to continue to happen. And I think that's one of the most amazing things. So you on a ride that's going to never end as long as you just keep giving Him your yes. You know what I'm saying?
Sherry C. Cribb is the CEO of that company also.
Okay.
She's doing amazing things. The name of that company is Catapult Outreach Incorporated.
There you go. That's good. So you're right now you're dealing with the Supreme Court in South Carolina, dealing with some things about that.
Well, the case is over now.
Oh, it is. Okay.
It's over.
Okay. So can you talk about that a little bit?
I can talk about it because it's public knowledge now.
Okay.
I didn't get justice actually.
Okay.
Because I was a pro se litigant, I made an error on the record of appeal, and therefore it was just basically thrown out.
And denied. Okay.
Can we talk about that for a minute?
Go ahead. Let's talk about it.
Because this is where Dr. Gray gets on her soapbox. So
there you go. Come on.
When unfortunately, Evelyn spent over $100,000.
Yeah.
Throughout the duration of this case, right? That's not chump change. Okay.
Not
this
at
was
all.
not. This was not a criminal case. This was her fighting for the rights of her child.
Absolutely.
Let me just back this up for a moment for those of you that are watching. She was fighting for the rights of her child against an ex-husband who was fighting against her. Let's just get the parameters clear. The husband was not fighting for the rights of his child. He was fighting to get back at her. So that's one of the injustices within the family court system, that when you gotta level the playing field.
Right.
Family court should not be used as a tool or a weapon against women who are victims of domestic violence.
Absolutely.
Okay? At the core of this case was about a domestic abused woman, right? But the family court did not recognize that.
They did not.
All they recognized was
Adultery.
her ex-husband's ability to fight her financially, mentally, emotionally, right? So, based on that, when you're in the family court system, particularly because this is what we're talking about, when Evelyn brought myself into the case, and initially they said yes, she can come into the courtroom and she can stand and be a witness. Evelyn said she don't have to say anything. But when I was brought into it and began to see the injustices of, as a pro se litigant, they don't fight the facts. They fight the inadequacies. In any other pro se litigant case I've ever dealt with, they never fight the facts. And in her documentation of why they canceled or made the case invalid had nothing to do with facts.
Nothing.
We got the documentation here.
Right, yeah, I read.
It had nothing to do with the facts. It had everything to do with what she didn't submit on time. They went back to case law history to refute what she said, but nothing to do to disprove anything that she said. And so, again, when individuals take the stance because they can no longer afford to pay adequate attorneys, if you're a pro se litigant, even though you're smart, one of the things I loved about Evelyn is because when she first started, she was a novice, but she's a pro now.
Right.
She knows what she's talking about, which is why God is elevating her to the place to be able to represent those who need to know before they need to know what they need to know, and why I stand with her. But that's the reason why her case was considered void and null and dismissed. Wasn't because they disproved the allegations, was because of an error. That's the bottom line. And that's the thing I want every one of us to understand, why we need to fight injustices in the family court system. It's in a lot of other systems as well. But we're talking about family court right now. That they don't fight the allegations. They didn't say your allegations were incorrect. They just said you didn't submit this to be able to prove that.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder. And for me, I'm just thinking about this. When you're talking about family, it's like it's an attack on family, to break up families. Because to me, strong families create strong communities, and then it spills over, and this keeps going. But it almost seems like that's what it is. Like it's an attack on families, and it may be an attack on Black families. So that could be a sensitive topic, but at the same time, a reality.
Listen, it's not a fantasy. It is a reality. Another client of mine, actually, that is what she deals with, is the juvenile justice system, right? We already know it's a pipeline from education. I already got the statistics. I work with her in doing that. And so in my research and working with her agency, we clearly see it, that it's a system that is not designed to repair, rebuild, refurbish in any way families.
Right.
There are no statistics to support that. And so we need more individuals to become aware of it. But oftentimes, the only time people become aware of it is when they're in the midst of it. And the family has fallen apart. And all you're doing is asking for a life preserver.
Yeah.
What Evelyn and I are hoping to do is, okay, her and her son, great relationship, right? Their relationship as a family is mended, wounded, but mended. They're moving forward. What we need now is individuals to say, right, I've never experienced it. Never had to go to family court. I have no grandchildren. I don't have a dog in this fight, but I'm 10 toes deep. We need others to be 10 toes deep in the fight and place a demand to say there's something wrong here, and we will not let up until we see change within the system.
Absolutely. And I think what we're doing is letting people know that what you just said, like the help that we do need, and the people hopefully hear this and see this and want to step up, because I feel like that's been something that's been going on for years with our families, and the attack on families, and Black families, and when you see the chaos in the home and things are not what they're supposed to be, and it's usually because there's not a father in the picture, or he's present but still not present, if you know what I mean. And there's always something happening in that situation where you see how things can be just putting the household and the families in a position where things are not going right. So I truly do feel like when that happens, we as a community now have the responsibility to step up and fill those voids, to be there, where the needs need to be met. We need to step up and do those things. And we back in the day, we used to live by the saying, it takes a village.
I thought exactly.
But it's like that's like it's gone now. It seems like it's just gone. Like we no longer live by that. Nobody's getting involved. We see it, but we don't do anything. We don't say anything.
Exactly.
And
that's my motto.
Yeah.
Right. And not only with this issue, but mental health issues, is that if you see something, you gotta say something.
Right.
Because we cannot trust the court systems to fix the systems within the family that are broken.
Right.
Her case proves it, as well as other cases prove it. The court systems cannot rear our children. They cannot fix what's broken. It does take the community to do it. So in order to do that, we got to say something. You know, in our own families, you know when something's happening in with your cousin them, you know what I mean, Pookie them or whoever, whatever name you want to say. We know it, but if we're not saying something, we can't wait till it gets to family court because they can't fix it. And just as you said, it takes a village, it takes a community, and that community doesn't have to be blood related, in my opinion.
No, absolutely not.
That case was a disaster. I mean, just having to represent myself when my attorney and stuff didn't show up, it was just pretty bad. And I went through a lot of stress because of that.
So what did you do to help you come out of that? Because I can only imagine, you know, the trauma that it caused. So what did you do to kind of work through that?
I just went in seclusion, me and God.
Yeah.
And God gave me the direction because I was desperate, as I said on the first show. And I just had to go by myself. I went in the wilderness and got by myself, and God gave me directions to expose what's really happening in the South Carolina family court system. Because somebody has to do it. The statistics are high for domestic violence. Nobody is really addressing that. The South Carolina Department of Social Services is like a joke, in my opinion. Attorneys that break the laws that should be going by the laws, that's a joke in South Carolina and possibly throughout the nation. We need reform because it costs us taxpayers.
Absolutely.
When things like this happens, when somebody gets so stressed out, they lose their children, they have to go to jail. Like they tried to send me to jail for not paying on more than one occasion when I didn't know that I was supposed to be paying and what amount I was supposed to be paying. I am a productive citizen. I've been employed for 20 years where at my place of employment, I had to exhaust my 401k plans. My child had to go to college and stuff like that, and it's just not fair. And the systems that are in place, nobody is overseeing anything. Nobody's enforcing anything.
So, you know, just so we can clarify. So, you know, Miss Evelyn had 26 points that she brought up in her complaint that she wanted to address. Their ruling addressed them not individually, but by lumping them together. Not all together, but lumping several of them together. One of them that they lumped together, it says that this court does not have jurisdiction over issues 14, 16, 17, and 19, right? And this is in regards to the misconduct of the attorney. And this is how they gave the ruling. Rule 3B RLDE, Rule 413 SCA-CR, the Commission on Lawyer Conduct shall have jurisdiction over all allegations that a lawyer has committed misconduct or incapacitated. So they didn't look into whether or not the lawyer,
Plural S.
lawyers. They did not look into whether or not the lawyers committed a crime, which is what they should have done. They just recited a bunch of book rule law to cite themselves out of jurisdictionally replying to the complainant, knowing she's a pro se litigant, is not going to know whatever letter I just read off, and she has only a timely manner to respond to it. And another, they said, you did not put this, right? You can't submit an allegation of this because you didn't put it in the first appeal. They use this type of manipulation and tactics to not uncover the misconduct within their own system when the judges are working with the guardian ad litems that are working with the attorneys undercover to keep the whole system malfunctioning.
Yes.
And the victims, as you just said, are the families.
Mm-hmm.
The statistics prove that the families are failing through our present court system. So that's why we have to continue to fight, overhaul it all, and it starts with our local representatives, local representatives drawing their attention to it, our senators, our governors. We have to continue to fight, and programs like yours, making individuals that say this is not my problem. Yeah, but it might be your auntie's problem.
Yeah.
It might be your next door neighbor's problem.
Right.
Before my voice says before it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
Right. Because especially if you're dealing with, you say you got 2 lawyers, right? It was 2 of
I
them.
was-
had
she-
4.
yes.
So, 4.
4 of them. Okay, and they basically broke the law.
Basically,
Yeah.
in this case,
Mm-hmm.
I believe all laws were broken.
Right. It was like fraud,
It was misrepresentation.
Misrepresentation.
Yes.
misrepresentation.
And the way that this situation was exposed
Mhm.
is when God allowed me to
Mhm.
take the case in my hands in 2018.
Mm.
I went all the way back to 2009 or 2010 when we first initially went into the courtroom.
Mm.
So I just
And had
went
she
all
not-
the way back.
And had she not, she would have never uncovered it.
Mm.
And it was a very difficult task, but I thank God
Mm-hmm.
that He gave me the strength and the energy to do this assignment. And some people will say, why is she doing this? She shouldn't be doing this. She's destroying people's lives. I'm not destroying anybody's lives.
Right.
The system attempted to destroy my life
Mm-hmm.
and my son's life. And all I'm doing is referencing what happened.
Mhm.
That's all I'm doing.
That's it.
It's online. It's on the South Carolina Court of Appeals website.
Mhm.
It's on the South Carolina Supreme Court's website.
Mhm.
I'm referencing what happened to my son and I
Mhm.
in the South Carolina Family Court system.
And it happens to more people
Yes.
who will never speak out.
Right.
And they will suffer in silence and just say, what else can I do? She decided to fight by researching, becoming her own pro se litigant, but there are so many other mothers and or fathers, because it also happens to fathers,
It
Right.
really
are the family.
Mhm.
yes.
The whole family, their grandparents, their cousins, the whole thing. So we really need those of you who would like to get in contact with Evelyn, who would like to join us in the fight. Please respond to this video. Please respond to and let us know that you've heard the story and you would definitely like to join the fight.
Yes.
Absolutely, because the more we got involved in this, the better we could come up with solutions. You know, because everybody has their own story and paths directed
Yes.
towards the same thing, and I feel like everybody's story is different, and everybody went through. You know, it's the same thing, but everybody's story is different, and we all go through different things. So we can come to the table and bring all of those perspectives to the table, and I feel like that'll help us actually build a stronger community around this.
Right.
When we have more people involved, but we have to start, and I think that's a struggle for a lot of people just to get to a starting point with it. But I feel like what you're doing and what has happened to you is going to help them come out and actually start and come to the table with you to see what they can do to help. And with you becoming stronger in this and more knowledgeable about this, now you can help them, you know, on what you've gone through and share your experience. So they now know what to do, because a lot of them really don't know how to fight this. They don't know how to fight it.
I would say do some research. Just do your own research. Even when you retain an attorney, do your own research
Right.
so that you will be educated in what's supposed to happen and how it's supposed to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And being in a courtroom, we had this false sense of thinking that when we go into the courtroom, oh, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. In this case, it did not.
Thinking your lawyers are going to be on your side, taking care of you, because you're paying them.
That's not what happened.
And so that's key. That's important, because there's a lot of people out there that would automatically think that
I
their
used to
team,
think it.
your legal team is gonna have your back and take care of you and make sure you good.
Not
But
so.
Not so.
that is amazing. I
They'll
mean,
leave
that's mind blowing to me.
They'll leave you standing there
Right.
while they're laughing, going to the bank, I believe.
It's a whole inner circle, and I think that when people understand that the family court system, or any court system for that matter, the whole judicial system, it's a system. And when you get plugged into that system, if you're not aware of how the system works, you're an outside player.
Right.
And it'll leave your head spinning.
You'll be played.
Yeah.
That's a t-shirt.
You'll
That's
get
a
played.
t-shirt. You will get played.
And it's not like it's broken. It was just the way it was designed.
Right.
It's the way it was designed.
Yeah, that's the way it was designed. Because I even, when I went through my divorce and my marriage, I had a couple of lawyers who was two women, and I could have sworn that they was on her side the whole time. Like, it's amazing. Like you're paying them to take care of you, but it's like everything they coming at you with, it's not even, for your.
It's not fair.
For you, it's not best. It's not what's best for you. They just doing things at you to take these deals and that deal, and it's like, well, why would I take that deal? That would not be what's best for me.
I was very confused when I went, because this last time I was actually the plaintiff.
Right.
I'm the one that bought the case for, but I was treated like
you were the criminal.
I was a criminal.
That's exactly right.
I don't think the system, they didn't want me to express what really happened in that case. But every opportunity I get, I'm going to continue to say what happened, because it's my truth.
Yeah.
And whoever's watching this, even if some of the people that were involved in it is watching this, I'm going to speak my truth.
Absolutely.
But we just saw this played out, right? It's public knowledge now with the Murdoch case. Decades of misconduct within the system. Decades. And then, pow, it blows up. Truth will be revealed.
Absolutely.
I just don't want it to be after we all gone and in heaven. I want some earthly justice down here. So.
That's right. I know that's right. You're right about that. We don't want to be gone before we get the glory. But I feel like we it's like delayed gratification in a sense. Where we go through this and we wake up every day with the hopes that we're going to see change, and we're trying to be the change we want to see, and nobody's listening, nobody cares, and another thing that's been in my spirit as you've been talking, Evelyn, it's like sometimes I feel like, just for me personally, as a black man, thinking about black women, like you're not covered and protected enough.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wasn't. I asked the family court several times for a restraining order, and I was denied. And I just feel I'm grateful that I'm sitting here because the abuser. What if the abuser would have wanted to take me out?
Right. Yeah.
And that does happen.
It's just a piece of paper, but it would have been documented that I was trying to send a warning, but I was denied.
Yeah, it just seems like there's not a focus on protecting you all, and I feel like a part of that too. You can look at that within our own community, and even outside of our community with the attack as well. There's so many different angles that we have to look at it, but yeah, I just feel like that's a conversation and a focus that needs to be strongly looked at, and us as black men, we have to keep that in mind. Because I don't know how anybody could listen to your story and not feel that there's a sense of that, like you're not being protected and considered, in regards of the things that you went through, and so I just feel like that's a focus that I feel like black men, we have to protect our women and make sure that they're good, and I think that that's another conversation that we can have. And really focus on that to make sure that we do better, But I just, at the end of the day, applaud you and say that I'm proud of what you're continuing to do. And God is continuing to open up these doors for you, and He's going to continue to do it. and so many people are going to be helped and blessed. And what you're going to do is you're going to create more individuals like yourself who's also going to go and do things, and God's going to open doors for them, and it's just going to continue. Yeah. And that's the beauty of us starting and getting the courage to get to a point like this, knowing that it's a continuation. It's just going to continue if we just continue to give God our yes. And I know that's not easy to say yes to God a lot of times. People will say like, yeah, I give God my yes, but
in some moments, you be like, I'll give the other S tomorrow.
Right? Yeah, you stop at the YE. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So I think that that we, as we build courage in that space to trust God, because this podcast is all about motivation. Yes, it is. To trust God and live your dreams, because I know how difficult that journey can be, to trust God on the things He's calling you to do. Yeah. It's not, like we said before, it's not going to be the most comfortable journey. It's not going to be the most pleasing. You really going to have to, pray through it, work through it, but I know that we understand that if He's chosen us for the journey, we're built for it. We're built for it. Yes. Because He's not going to put no more in us than we can handle. So I just truly believe that you've been an advocate for domestic violence, and so many women out here who are going through this. Yes. And I believe that you already done blessed a lot of women already.
Yes, I sure do hope so.
She has.
Yeah. I hope so.
And put them in position to know that they are not in this alone. And it's the kind of hope that they've probably been praying for years, and now they have it. So that's a beautiful thing. Yes. That's so beautiful. So you got your book coming. You're working on the movie, and I'm telling what God's gonna do next. It's so exciting.
It really is. I mean, Evelyn is. I can't wait till she writes about this and and the journey. She's just been phenomenal. What she's been able to accomplish, and I'm just so glad to be her sidekick. What it was. Who was it? The Lone Ranger had Tonto, so I'm just glad to be her Tonto whenever she says, "Hey, I'm like, I'll be there," because her journey has been incredible. I remember when she first, she was struggling. She was struggling, but I look at her now, and so the book thing was a secret, but I knew it before she. So I was just like, I was really excited. So it's just phenomenal, and. The book is going to definitely launch her on a different platform. So eyes have not seen and ears have not heard the good thing that God has in store for those who love and trust Him.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Like you said, God turns your pain into power. That's something that needs to go on a T-shirt.
Yes.
Because I know that is a powerful statement and a true testimony.
And I went through a lot of pain.
True testimony.
But God got me through it, and I'm grateful. And I'm grateful to help others.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Awesome. I love it. I love to see it. And that just goes to show everybody out there, it doesn't matter what you feel about your situation, how bad you think it is. Just as Evelyn said, God has the ability to turn your pain into power and purpose, and and be able to change people's lives and help people. So give out any kind of information that you feel like you need to give. If people want to get in touch with you, want to sit down with you, talk with you, share their story, whatever it is that they want to get off their hearts and minds, how do they get in touch with you?
Right now it's Facebook. Evelyn Hemphill. I'm on Facebook.
Okay. Make sure y'all reach out. I mean, don't sit there in silence, suffer in silence about nothing that you're going through. If you need somebody to talk to, because I'm going to tell you, that's one thing about God. Like, He will line you up and put people in your life you would never think that will be there to help you. A lot of times we already done pick who we want to talk to, who we want to be there for us, but God has somebody else, lined up for you to talk to help you. So don't deny yourself that opportunity. If you know this is tugging on you to talk to Evelyn about what you're going through, please reach out to her. She's already told you several times she's willing to talk to you. She's a wonderful person. I promise you. I'm telling you that for myself. So you would definitely want to reach out to her if you need to talk. All right? Definitely. And anything else you want to say, Dr. Norma Gray?
Make sure you buy the book.
Buy the
Make sure
book,
you
definitely.
buy her book.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So wonderful. So we can all be there to support
Okay.
you on that. Yeah, we definitely gonna be there. I'm gonna make sure I'm there. I know I'll be
Okay.
busy, but make sure you do what you do. You know how you always contact me.
Yes.
Let me know when it is so I can put it on my schedule. All right.
Thank you. I would like to say thank you for everyone that viewed the first interview.
Yeah.
Oh, 11,000 views. That was amazing.
11,000
That was good.
Wow. So we gonna keep running them numbers up so people can know.
Yes.
Because that was a great interview, and so we got 11,000 on last. We're gonna look for 22,000.
22,000. Double.
Yes. We looking for
Yeah.
22,000 people. So we thank y'all for continuing to support everything that we're doing in the community. Thank you for supporting the Mista Darkeye Podcast. Continue to watch and support and share, comment, give you feedback, all that good stuff. You know what this show is about. It's about motivation, to trust God, live your dreams. And we want to keep you motivated. It's a daily struggle. So we know this is important to keep y'all motivated. All right? Thank y'all again.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you for having
Thank
us.
you so much. Congratulations on everything. This has been the Mista Darkeye Podcast, Motivation to Trust God, Live Your Dreams. We'll catch y'all next time. God bless you.